say thank you all for your time today, and I appreciate you so much and looking forward to a great day. Let's start with a roll call if we may.
Each member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Member Winton has requested an excuse. Member Tinsley Smith? Member Talley?
I'm here.
Member Starr?
Here.
Member Shield?
Here.
Member Randall?
Dr. Randall is here.
Member Luckman?
Present.
Member Lanto?
Present.
Member Joyner?
Here.
Member Hughes? Member Gator?
Present.
Member Garcia? Member English Barnhill? Member Douglas has requested an excuse. Member Dobb?
Here.
Member Crawford? Member Cash has also requested an excuse. Vice Chair Roberts?
Here.
Chair Carter?
Present.
And we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Then let us proceed. It is now calling for the approval of the October 14, 2021 meeting minutes. Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review them. If you have any comments, changes, modifications, please speak.
If Ms. Gagnique could roll up, scoot up what you're showing. Thank you so much.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
So moved from Member Gator.
Support from Member Shield.
Okay, all right, then motion has been moved.
Chair Carter, you have to ask for a vote. All those in favor, all those opposed.
Sorry, I always forget that. All those are in favor of accepting the minutes as provided, please say yay.
Aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
that oppose? All right. Okay. Can we now accept the meetings as presented?
Yes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. All right, I don't have many remarks at this point in the program. We will talk about a number of things a little later. I'm excited to hear from the committees today. I just continue to hope and pray that we have a great day. So we can move to any unfinished business at this point. Are you guys not hearing me?
No, we hear you, Chair. There is no unfinished business.
Okay, all right. Any new business?
Yeah, we're moving on to item E1, new business updates from the ad hoc committees.
Okay. Let's move with the update, recommendations from the Core Values, Mission, and Vision Committee by Committee Chair Lugman.
Good afternoon. Okay, so I wanted to just give a summary of what we had accomplished as a committee. We were tasked with creating or establishing the core values, the vision statement and the mission statements. And what we had come up with to present to the commission is that our core values will be integrity, respect, and women empowerment. Our vision is that the Wayne County Women's Commission will be a platform to communicate and raise awareness about the critical issues impacting women in Wayne County. The Wayne County Women's Commission will be a leader in collaborating to make recommendations to advance the well-being of all women in Wayne County. The mission is that the mission of the Wayne County Women's Commission is to uplift women throughout Wayne County by collaborating to advocate for effective solutions to remedy these issues. These issues include, but are not limited to, gaining access to medical, physical, emotional, and mental health care, financial, business growth, housing, and childcare. So these statements and values were sent out to all of the members of the commission, I believe, a few weeks ago. If you did not have a chance to go over them, I can resend them, but this is what we are presenting to the commission for approval.
I'll support Member Dobb.
Second that, Member Douglas.
All right, whatever the statement, did you ask for a motion to approve as is? Somehow you blanked out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Member Luckman was making the motion to approve
Okay,
and I was supporting,
Okay.
but if.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have worded that. I'm making a motion to approve it. And just a little bit more context, what we had done within our committee is we had compiled, we had taken all of the feedback that we gotten from the commission members who did respond within the time that we asked for responses or suggestions, some of our own suggestions about what the core values, vision, and mission statement should be. We tried to make them concise, but at the same time, very a good reflection of what our commission's work should be. And that's how we came up with these statements. So yes, I'm making a motion to vote for approval of the values, vision, and mission statement that are present on the screen.
okay, thank you very much.
And I'll
for that
support
motion.
Member Dobb.
Thank you, Member Dobb. As such, we'd like to take maybe a hand count of those who are in favor of moving forward and accepting the core values, mission, and vision statement as presented.
Just
Go ahead, Member Roberts, Vice Chair Roberts.
oh, thank you so much. I just want to acknowledge if there's any discussion, if anyone wanted to comment or they have any thoughts.
Good point.
I do-
Does anyone have any comments?
I do see a hand from Member Randall, but I'm not sure if that's to make a comment. Member Randall, do you have a comment?
Thank you for recognizing. That was the vote. That was my vote. But I can put it back down if we're not voting. Thank you for recognizing me.
Yes, and Chair Carter, just for a point of procedure, instead of a hand count, we would need to do a voice vote. So it's recorded on the Zoom.
You broke up.
We would need to do a voice count, a voice vote, like how we do it for the minutes, in order for everyone's voices to be captured on the Zoom recording.
Okay, let's take a voice vote at this time. All those are in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Let me return
Thank
to
you
the
guys
agenda.
for all the work you did on that particular project and the fact that you got it done and you worked well together from what I understand. Two more people are closer together, so thanks a lot for delivering on
Madam
that.
Chair, Madam
Yes.
Chair, as the vice chair of that committee, I would like to thank Member Latanya Gator and Member Linda Shield for working so diligently with us to get this done in a very short time. Thank you all. It was a joy to work with you.
Thank you. If there are not any more comments at this point, we'll move to the next item on our agenda. The update. And recommend- Are there any comments? Okay, all right. So we'll move to the update and recommendations from the committee to facilitate a strategic planning process by Committee Chair Roberts. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Chair Carter. First of all, I want to thank all of our committee members. We have, for about 2 months now, been meeting twice a month. And so members have really been generous with their time. We've had many very thoughtful discussions, and I believe we've all been working very, very well together, and everyone has had a voice in the work that we are doing. So we have been working and talking through what a strategic planning process could look like, what a strategic planning document could look like, And the idea and desire to survey the full membership of the Wayne County Women's Commission to also help influence what this guidance document for the strategic planning process would look like. So 2 committee meetings ago, a motion was made from the committee by Member Lanto to support and move forward on procuring a professional facilitator to work with the Wayne County Women's Commission on developing a strategic plan and to make this recommendation at our next full meeting, which is this meeting. That motion passed 5-6. And so we are making that recommendation to the full commission today. Our other recommendation is simply just to let you know and have your support in surveying you to get some input. And at our last meeting, we spent a lot of time discussing what the survey would look like, what the questions would be, what the intent is. And we're very close on finishing that survey. We just have a little bit of work left to do on that. And so with that, I make a motion to approve the recommendations, these 2 recommendations coming out of our committee.
Support Member Lanto.
I'll follow up with support for Member Gator.
Okay, any discussion or questions?
Yes. I'd like to floor, Madam Chair.
Go right ahead, Madam.
Yes, I was the one that voted against the facilitator. I am not against the facilitator, but usually when you secure a facilitator, you know what your needs are. In my opinion, we have not done the work to even know what we want to work on strategically. We need to determine what our needs are. Then that would be the appropriate time to bring a facilitator in. Thank you.
We have a hand from Member Dobb.
Go ahead. Member Dobb, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question for Member Roberts for the on the committee. Did the committee discuss any? Do you have any ideas for picking a facilitator? I know some of them. Sorry, I didn't phrase this in my head very well. Do you have any ideas for picking a facilitator, or maybe getting someone to do it free of charge?
Yeah.
Can you expand upon that?
Yeah, so we had a general discussion about this. I personally don't have any particular person in mind. We wanted to, once the motion was made and carried in committee, we wanted to make sure that we had support of the full commission before moving forward. But what we did discuss was, if this motion is supported by the full commission today, we would come back as a committee and then we would develop a process for how we would secure that facilitator, and that every member would be, able to, do outreach and find potential candidates to do this. And then we also would need to discuss, is this someone that would be willing to do it pro bono? And that is an option, although I am supportive of, paying professional people to do professional work. So we would have to look at, what their costs would be, what their process would be, what the timeline would be. And we would need to gather that information. But I didn't want to dig too deep into that until we had the full support of the body. And just in response to Dr. Randall's comments, I agree with her 100%. And I believe we are in the process of doing that work. So we are in the process of beginning an outline of what that strategic plan could look like, what we would give the facilitator to help us work through. And then the second piece of that is surveying our full membership to get input. And then once all of that is put together, then we can work on drafting a proposal that we could share with potential facilitators to then, comment on and then provide a proposal to us in terms of their approach, their work, timeline, process, and cost.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And Madam Chair, we do have a hand from Commission Counsel Felicia Johnson.
If I may, through the chair to the body.
Go right ahead.
So I'm seeking clarification on the actual motion that we're voting on, that you're voting on. And then I want to be clear that there is a process for the potential retention of anyone. The county does have a process when it comes to the expenditure of funds. So depending on what you're seeking, how much it costs, there is already an established process, but there's also a process by which you have to request funding if funding is required for this. So I just want to be clear with members on what exactly is being voted on. I mean, are you voting to actually secure the facilitator? It just wasn't clear to me, and I want to make sure everyone's on the same page with regards to all the internal processes that will be required to actually retain someone.
Sure. Thank you, Felicia. And if I can just respond to that. The motion says to support and move forward on procuring a professional facilitator to work with us. So it's, I think, direct enough that gives us a direction that this is, the way that we want to go. But I think it's also vague enough that allows us to be able to work within the established processes and protocols that the county has established. And we would not move forward in doing anything without making sure we know 100% what those are and that we're doing it appropriately and correctly.
I have a question. This is the chair. First question is to you, Vice Chair Roberts. Can you say that you are comfortable saying that your committee in its current status is not able to carry out the work of the strategic work plan to get the commission, the Women's Commission, moving forward? You're saying to me that you are not able to do it, or why are you saying that this is something that you're not able to complete without outside help?
Well, I'm not. What we are saying, and we had a vote from five yeses and one opposing, that we recognize the value of a professional facilitator who is non-biased, that allows all members of not only the committee, but the commission to participate in this process. And we see value in that. And that's why we want to move forward with this.
Enough value in the team itself that you have, because from what I understand, two of your members had background in that area, both I believe member Luckman and member
Lanto.
Member Lanto and member Randall. Were they allowed to perhaps to create a document that represented what we needed, because they were selected based on their background? And we've have talked about this, and we've talked about bringing in a facilitator since June, and now we're fast forward here in November, December, 7-8 months later, and we're still on that same point. And I'm just trying to see if we can do something that that's going to represent what we really want to happen, because now we're going to bring a facilitator in there. He has to learn all of us and learn all about what we want. Then you bring 19 people into that entire fold. I just see this being massive, and we're very close to being a year old at this point. How much time will it take this facilitator to move forward? Have you thought about that at all?
Yes, and I've been talking about the value of having a facilitator going all the way back to the creation committee before the Women's Commission was officially created. But we did not start meeting as a committee till I think in October. So I don't think it's fair to say that we've been talking about this since June and, you know, we haven't taken action. We've been working on this since day one that the committee was created. And I absolutely value every member of this committee. And those who have been at meetings have been participating fully and really bringing their best selves and best efforts forward. But I would like to open it up if there's other members of the committee that would like to speak to this. I see Member Lanto has her hand raised.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to echo what Vice Chair Roberts was saying, in that if the committee itself were to facilitate creating a strategic plan, in order to do that effectively, we would have to be non-biased, which effectively removes us, members of this commission, from fully voicing our opinions about the issues that should be tackled, the structure of the full Women's Commission, et cetera. So even though I do have experience facilitating a strategic plan, my preference, and I think the way that everybody gives their best input, would be to be able to fully participate and have a non-biased facilitator take the role of facilitation, so that we can move forward, get everybody's input, and create the best and most sound foundation for the full commission moving forward.
Well, I will say that I have the utmost respect for each of you on that team and believe that you are professional and that you are able to move in a non-biased format, just based on where you've been, your backgrounds. You know exactly how to be non-biased. All of us have to do that, practice that on a daily basis, actually. But I'm not going to insist that you guys do something that you have, you know, that you're supporting each other, and that it just cannot be done in that committee the way it exists now. And I'm going to accept that. And I will say that I think that we need a report from the chair of the committee to explain, or to help us explain to the Wayne County Commission that this is why we need a facilitator, and that we don't have the talent, or we don't have the non-biased way about ourselves, or we don't trust ourselves. And the only way to get this done is to bring in an outsider. Because then now we're talking about RFP or whatever the process may be for Wayne County. But if I can ask Felicia, how long will it take to get a process like this in place? And will it be in time before our next, before the end of the, not the end of this year? I don't think it'll happen that quickly, but definitely at our 1-year mark in April.
Through the chair, my assumption is that the cost of a facilitator will only be, I would imagine, within the few $1,000s, if that range, right? So that particular type of procurement should be fairly quick to process once funding is approved.
Okay. Now, I'd like to see that entire process, how that fold out. And I'm speaking now from a vantage point of support. So what I want to do is to see the documentation that says, okay, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. And once this person comes in, we're going to believe that he's non-biased and that he's going to be fair enough to put us on a solid ground. That's what I like to see in a one-page document, because we do have to present that to Wayne County Commission, and it won't be, you know, something that is just simplified, and you know, it's not going to be simple to do that, because they have a budget. Of course, they have a budget, and they have allocations, and they probably have a number of ways of getting this done. However, it won't be without us being able to explain these things and why we need to move it forward this way. That's just how it's usually done from my experience with even asking for money in corporate America. It has to be, you have to kind of show that you need it, and you have to show why. And when we can do that, I'm in support of you 100%, Vice Chair Roberts. Dr. Randall, go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair, in terms of bias, we have just approved our mission statement. That is what the strategic plan is supposed to be based on. We just voted on it. It's approved. It's done. The bias is not available to us because we must follow the mission statement that has been approved by this entire commission. There is no bias. Thank you.
We have hands from Vice Chair Roberts, Member Lanto, and Member Starr. I believe.
Let's hear
Member
from
Lanto.
let's hear from the people that have not had a chance to speak just yet, just because I want to make sure that we're all encouraged to speak.
Okay, I believe Member Starr has not been recognized yet.
Go ahead, Member Starr.
Thank you. I'd just like to support what Member Lantos stated earlier. Having an external facilitator allows everyone who's in the meeting, all of us, to have equal voice. If we use a facilitator, even someone who has experience within our group, then their voice is not as equally heard because they are doing the job of running the meeting and being a part of the facilitation. That's not fair to the region that the facilitator, internal facilitator actually represents. And so I think that it is important from that perspective to make sure that we engage an external facilitator so that each voice is given opportunity to be heard equally.
Thank you, Member Starr.
And then we have hands from Member Roberts and Member Lanto.
Member Lanto, go ahead.
I would like to echo what Member Starr just said and really emphasize that it's not a lack of skill or ability to be non-biased. It's the fact that if somebody is acting as a non-biased facilitator, that removes them from the discussion and being able to effectively represent their jurisdiction. In addition to that, I just want to bring up a potential point of order in that a recommendation is coming out of committee. There has been a support and second, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gagnede or Felicia, but I believe this should move to a vote instead of adding additional requirements at this point in time.
Through the chair, discussion of the motion is appropriate. So, and Gagnede can correct me technically, you indicated that there's been a motion and support. So right now you're having discussion of that motion, which is proper.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
we created a committee with a very long name in terms of the Ad Hoc Committee on facilitating a strategic plan for the Wayne County Women's Commission. And this committee has been working very hard. And I believe that we need to continue to support the work of the committee and the members of this committee and have faith that we are going to do our due diligence and make sure that this is done appropriately. If and when this recommendation is supported at this meeting, we will come back as a committee and we will work through what that process will look like and what the needs are. And we will happily continue to provide updates to the full commission to make sure that everyone is aware of what we're doing and where we're going. And as needed, if further recommendations come out of this process that need a vote before the full commission, we will ensure that happens. This is an open process. This is a transparent process. I invite anyone to reach out to me and provide any input, thoughts, or suggestions. But it is the work of the committee that will ultimately, I guess, a way to say it is put together the final product and make sure that everyone is informed.
We do have another hand from Member Douglas.
If I may, thank you for the recognition. Everybody has some really great comments, and I agree, Chair Carter, that we do have some talented individuals that are on this committee, and that to have a facilitator, and as I'm sure all of us have been part of the strategic planning, it is, I believe, the best interest for the members' voices to be heard is to have someone who is not part of the commission to be a non-biased facilitator so that everyone's voices will be heard and everyone's points will be brought across, because a facilitator can bring out more information and more points, I believe, and to help us assist in that. So I agree with the talent that is here. However, I believe that a non-biased facilitator would be very beneficial. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Okay.
We do have,
Anybody?
sorry, Chair Carter, we do have one more hand from Dr. Randall.
Yes, I just want to say, I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say we're in a committee of 4, and this person really wants this facilitator. All they have to do is get someone else to recommend them. So let's not talk about not being biased, because it's not going to be. Whoever is selected will be the choice of the person that wants that person. So you can have someone else submit the name, but I will know where the person really came from. Thank you.
Go ahead, Member Dobb. Member Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe that the entire commission would have to approve the facilitator. That's all. Thank you.
And
Member-
yep, sorry, go ahead.
Member.
Yes,
Go
the
ahead.
commission approving the facilitator does not prevent the facilitator from not being chosen by one particular member. Thank you.
Can you repeat that? You blinked out at some point.
I'm sorry. I'm saying because the commission approves a facilitator does not prevent that facilitator being chosen by a member on the committee. That's my only point. You can't prevent it. You can, majority will approve, and if the commission will approve, it will be may still be someone's personal choice, which again is not unbiased. Thank you.
So again, Vice Chair Roberts, go ahead.
Thank you so much. We have 7 members on our committee, and I have communicated several times now that I want everybody to be involved in this committee, to be involved in this process. I do not have a particular person in mind. This is going to be a process if this is approved today. And so one person will not be determining who this facilitator is. There are 7 members of this committee. It will be a process that I hope everyone is involved in, and there will be a vote, and then there will be a recommendation, and we will make sure that we fully understand from Wayne County what that process needs to be like, if it's us making a recommendation of one person or if we have to put 3 people forward, but we will figure all of that out. And it will be an open and transparent process. I promise you that.
And Vice Chair, in all due respect, I do trust that. I just want us to end up with a paper in our hand that says, this is the process. Because right now we're agreeing blindly. We don't have all the details, because you admitted that you're still working on what your process is going to be, things that you're going to present to the particular facilitator. I'm just saying, give us our 1-pager so we can all know what is happening in writing, so we'll know who's all voting, because you still saying it could be 1 person or 3 people. Then if we're in this quorum with 19 people, you're asking us to go forth with something, and we don't have the proper information, in part because you guys are still working on, which I respect. But I think that in all due respect, that the committee come back together and tell us how that vote is going to look. Who's going to vote for that facilitator? Because like remember Dr. Randall said, is that if you have 7 people in a committee and your guys are just voting, and see, the thing is this, you can have outside people to come in and help your committee to get you where you need to go. Now, once you involve 19 people, I think we need a little bit more details.
I did not want the committee to continue doing work
Go ahead, Member Douglas.
until we had support from the full commission that we want to move forward on supporting and moving forward on procuring a professional facilitator. We need to make sure that that is determined by this commission before we do any additional work. And as I have said multiple times, we will make sure that you and everyone on this commission has that information.
Go ahead, Member Douglas.
So I just wanted to provide a point of clarification. We're not at the point of selecting a facilitator as of yet. Today, we're here to talk about the recommendations of the survey and moving forward to going to select a facilitator. When we do get to the point of selecting a facilitator, we're asking members, including the members of the full commission, if they have someone to recommend, and then we will vet them and then bring them back to the full commission for a final vote. We will not, as a committee, be voting on the final facilitator. I believe that we will be selecting a few facilitators to bring forth to the full commission to vote on. So that's my understanding. I understand today that we're just voting on the recommendation to provide the survey to the full commission and also the Women's Commission, and also to recommend going forward in selecting a facilitator and securing one. We are not securing one today. We have no idea who that facilitator will be at this point. And that will be an open process, like Vice Chair Roberts said, to the full commission to provide recommendations. It will not just be the 7 members of the commission, of the committee, providing those recommendations. So thank you for that.
We have hands from Member Talley and Member Lanto.
Go ahead, Member Talley.
Yeah, I just want to say this is not, this is just my opinion. I'm really concerned with the tone of this meeting. I know we're getting to know each other. This is the first meeting I've been in where I've heard this tone going on. I don't know what's going on, the underlying, and it's a little surprising to me. I just want to know that for the record, this is something different that I'm not used to on this commission. And so I just want to know this to the record. I know we're still getting to know each other, but I'm very surprised of the tone of this meeting today. I'm not sure what it is, but I just want that noted for the record. That's all.
Thank you.
We have a hand from Member Lanto.
Thank you. I just wanted to add further clarification that we really can't provide an outline until we get the recommendation approved to survey the larger Women's Commission membership to then dictate what goes into that outline, which would then help inform the facilitator if that recommendation is passed today.
Does everyone have the survey, and can we move forward with the survey today?
No, we're still working on it.
Okay, so are we going to table this until you can make that distribution and people will have an opportunity to provide you the feedback that you need to make decisions for the committee?
No, there's a motion on the floor and it's been supported, and we need to vote on the motion.
Okay. Are there any more comments or suggestions or discussion? Okay, so when can we have the survey? I'm just wanting clarity. So, because now we're meeting and I, just want to make sure that we are moving forward and that we're clear about what we're doing here today, passing a motion. So that the record is clear.
Sure, thank you, Chair Carter. One of the recommendations is to survey the membership. We are in the process of developing that survey. We are very close. And then we will determine the process for how we get that survey out. We'll send the survey out, we'll get input from members, and then we will use that to help us put together this outline for a strategic plan that hopefully we will be working through and building with a facilitator.
And I totally do not oppose to that at all. I think that's a great idea. Because then you'll have the information. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
And Chair Carter, would you like to take a roll call vote on this so everyone can individually voice their vote?
We can proceed with the motion to accept the questionnaire as one that will be distributed and then tallied in consideration of a facilitator. Am I correct?
Yes, so I'm gonna call everyone's names and we're gonna vote on the motion. Okay. Member Tally?
Yes.
Member St-
I'm sorry, but that wasn't the verbiage of that original motion. Can somebody please restate the original motion? I'm sorry for the interruption, but the survey, I don't recall being a part of the original motion. And for clarity, could someone please repeat the motion? Thank you.
Sure, Dr. Randall. We have two recommendations that are coming out of the Ad Hoc Committee for facilitating a strategic plan, for facilitating the Wayne County Commission strategic plan. The first is to support and move forward on procuring a professional facilitator to work with the Wayne County Women's Commission on developing strategic plan. And the second part would just be that we are going to survey the Wayne County Women's Commission membership.
Member Vice Chair Roberts, can you put that in a motion language, please?
I did earlier in
The
the meeting.
survey was not in the original motion. I don't recall it.
The original motion was to approve the recommendations coming out of the committee. And so those are the two recommendations. The motion was to approve the two recommendations.
Thanksgiving dinner gift cards.
And Chair Carter, would you like me to take the roll for the vote?
Yes, proceed.
Okay, I'm gonna start over again now that the motion has been restated. So Member Tally?
Yes.
Okay. Member Starr?
Yes.
Member Shield?
Yes.
Member Randall?
Abstain.
Abstain, thank you. Member Luckman?
Yes.
Member Lanto?
Yes.
Member Joyner?
Yes.
Member Gator?
Yes.
Member Barnhill?
To actually,
Yes.
Member Douglas?
Yes.
Member Dobb?
Yes.
Member Crawford?
Yes.
Vice Chair Roberts?
Yes.
Chair Carter?
Yes.
Motion passes and I have Member Randall abstaining.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm sorry, Member English has a comment in the chat. Check in the chat, please.
Yep, she indicated yes in the chat as well as verbally, so we are good.
All right, thank you. All right, I will say if my tone was not appropriate, I do apologize to this body. That was not my intention. I am kind of detail oriented. Everybody knows that I'm super detailed, and I was just looking for some details. And again, I want to say, as I said already twice, I'm in support of the survey as well as the committee's work that dictates that it needs a facilitator for good reason, based on the work that you've put into it. So let me make that clear and go on the record with that. All right, so we want to now move forward with the discussion of the October meet and greet. I want to say that Member Crawford did a wonderful job. We had a great time. If you can speak to that, Member Crawford.
Yes, just a moment here. I'm trying to get into a good area. If you can give me just a second, I'm coming on camera.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. The October meeting, meet and greet was phenomenal, and thank you to everyone who was able to participate. And there were small goodies that were provided. So for those who are unable to obtain their goodies, they would get their goodies in December. Or if we do something in November, that could be possibly, you know, a opportunity as well. I know there's going to be a couple of free turkey giveaways and just another time for us to fellowship during this harvest time and be thankful for a few things. So again, it was wonderful, and I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you soon. And those who are ill, I wish you well wishes to feel better soon, and I hope you're doing well. But thank you again for the opportunity to host such a great event. And anyone else like to comment? But thank you.
All right. Tanya Gator said she happy to hear everyone had a good time. Is anyone here that attended the event that might have a comment?
This is Crawford again. So I did give away goodie bags. Again, it was totally unexpected. So everyone will have one. This is straight from the heart. Don't want anything, just want us to unite as women. And it's a little bit hint of self-care, the importance of self-care as a woman. So I think that we have greatness to come. I know we're all passionate about what we do in various areas. And I look forward to connecting with each and every last one of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we do have a hand from Vice Chair Roberts and Member Randall.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it was a really, really wonderful opportunity to be able to sit around the table and see, you know, those who were able to attend and have discussion. We did not talk about the Women's Commission at all. We just talked about like our lives, and Summer really facilitated a very thoughtful process for facilitating some discussion so we could get some insights about one another. And I really look forward to, I was reading in the chat that Member Barnhill English is putting together a Red Wings game for us on December 7th. And I hope that we can all really make it a priority to do that. I understand things come up in life, but it really was, I think, it was just very impactful because we've only been able to meet via Zoom, you know, and so to be in the presence of one another was very special. So thank you, Summer, or Member Crawford, for organizing it and working so hard.
And we do have a hand from Member Randall.
Go ahead.
Just kudos to Summer Crawford. Fantastic job. I had an absolute ball, and I think everyone that was present did. I enjoyed every minute. Thank you.
Are there any other thoughts from anyone?
I was going to say, just want to recognize that Chair Bill did attend the event as well with us. And again, it was very informal. We had a great time. And if I did not get a chance to see you or speak with you or chat with you, trust me, I would love to do so in December. If not, I do make beautiful house calls or office visits. So I may reach out to you and say, hey, where you at? But what I did recognize in this space was that we had the opportunity to go to Livonia, which is a part of Wayne County. But what will be phenomenal is that we, at some point in time, you know, reach different areas. And probably after December, I may put another quick meet and greet together, perhaps in the Belleville area, somewhere down that way, or even close to Grosse Pointe. But we shall see. But either way, again, I make office visits and house calls, however it may be, and just to, you know, show some love. I do travel to just check on and check in on each one of you. It will be awesome.
Thank you for that, and thank you for volunteering to host another meet and greet. We did have a wonderful time, and we acted as though we genuinely have known each other 20 years. We rocked and rolled and laughed and talked all night long, it seems. It was such a pleasant exchange. And again, I want to thank you for your leadership. And also, I know member English Barnhill also had some input in that. So I want to thank her as well. And most definitely, who I'm calling Dr. Bell these days, because it just seems so appropriate sometimes. But Dr. Bell, our chair of the Wayne County's Wayne County Commission's chair, she did come, and she stayed the whole time with us, and we really enjoyed just talking as friends. All right, so that's it on that subject matter. Hearing no other discussion. If we can move forward now with the item number 3, the discussion on holiday event with organizers, member English Barnhill. I want to thank member Cash was not here, who sent a note and wanted to volunteer for that committee, so that can help make it be as great as possible. Go ahead, member Barnhill, English Barnhill, I should say.
Hello, ladies. I'm sorry, I'm proverbial and literal fire. I was standing outside for a fire drill that went off, but I did just want to drop really quickly. December 7th, Tuesday, we have a hockey game. The Red Wings, I have a suite for us with food and beverage. And I chose a hockey game instead of a show so that we can talk and get to know each other. And I'm hoping that we get really good RSVPs in attendance, and I'm looking forward to hosting everyone. And that is my very, very quick spiel, but an invite will be coming, an evite for you to RSVP. It will be first come, first serve. And I look forward to the fellowship, and that is what I've got.
Thank you so much. All right. So now if I could move over to the COVID-19 activities that have been taking place really since we started. And I just wanted to share something with you, because we are making progress. And I will say I'm just so overjoyed with what we do have a response, and we've been responding to the women in Wayne County and the things that we're dealing with because of COVID-19. It seems to be a quest that we have embraced to learn and to lessen the negative impacts of COVID and improve the lives of the women in Wayne County. Now, how we vibe, and I was hoping that we pass the mission and vision and core values today, because now I'm able to say this is how we vibe. And it's a new mission because we just rolled it out today. And that I am, with all my heart, will embrace and to live and breathe our mission, vision, and core values. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. That goes with my territory, but I don't hold grudges, and I don't get attitudes. So I'm a person who is very flexible on all levels. So I am willing to, I don't care if we don't agree on one thing or two things. You can still talk to me. I'm still personable enough that you can come to me and say, hey, I got a new subject matter, let's discuss it. So I want all of us to catch the vibe of the mission, the vision, and core values. And I can't thank the committee members enough. Members Luckman as the chair, Randall as the vice chair, member Gator, member Talley, and member Shield. This means a lot for this organization. This sets the tone for the rest of our term, hopefully, and hopefully those who come after us will see it as we do and value it in just the same way that we do. Next,
And,
okay.
Chair Carter, we do have
yes.
a hand from member Talley.
Go ahead, Talley, make it.
Yeah, through the chair, I cannot take any credit for this. I do need my name removed. I couldn't participate with the committee. I was in the middle of a campaign. So please take my name off. I can't take credit for anything that I was not a part of. So I do apologize. I was very busy. I would have loved to have been a part, but it was very busy time for me. So please, I don't want to even, I can't take credit for none of that. So, but thank you. Please note that for me, please.
And ladies, Member Tally won her
Okay, I
election.
would have
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
And
Thank you,
and
Dr. Randall.
I will say, Member Tally, is that's the kind of integrity that we're talking about. I didn't know that you didn't participate, and that's just how great the members you're working with, because no one ever complained, no one ever said a thing. They just pulled the rope while you weren't there, and that's what we need. That's a perfect example of how we should be operating. So thank you very much. And whether you did anything or not has nothing to do with you being on that team. So
Okay.
thank you again. All right. So we want to embrace and amplify and represent the women of Wayne County disparities punctuated at the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, the first quarter 2020, and is continuing to this day. I talked to a young lady yesterday. She has COVID with 4 kids. How does her 4 kids get to school? How does she get to the grocery store? There's some gaps. There's some gaps that we can fill. So I'm looking forward to what we can do as a group and as a commission. Now, this is how much work we've been doing since June 10. This is really what's almost 6 months now. During the June 10th, 2021 meeting, we had all these things happen. Remember, Melissa Dobb initiated discussion on the first issues to be highlighted. She said we should focus on the impact of COVID-19 on the women in the workforce. That's been an ongoing issue all of our lives. And so now it's just impacted 10 times due to this COVID-19 and more. So this is the opportunity when the world is looking to change some things for us to step up and do what we can to make a difference. The second one is Member Summer Crawford expressed her interest in focusing on the impact of COVID-19 and what what an impact it has had on the access to housing. And Lord, we also a flood. So we're talking about huge problems here. We're talking about people still losing their homes, and people are still paying back rent from a year ago. I mean, we really got some work to do, and I just hope that we can partner with teams and committees and city, state, federal level to try to get some things moving in ways that are not moving. And by the way, when the state of Michigan and the city of Detroit, I am very proud of what they have been doing to get the word out with COVID. They have done an excellent job, no question. And I'm glad that was rolled out at one of our past meetings. It's no question that they've done everything they can to get us to get vaccinated to our Facebook page, our social media page where we can, because we have to stand for what we preach. We have to be the person that we're representing from the vantage point of course ourselves, and for all the things that we're doing, like this positively impact others, but definitely this women's committee, because the world is looking at us. So we want to make sure we deliver. Vice Chair Sarah Roberts suggested that the members begin breaking it down into separate issues that could be handled by committees. That is so much needed. Member Sarah Roberts and Member Chelsea Lanto also made a motion to make the first issue on the impacts of COVID-19 on the women in Wayne County. That motion was voted upon and the motion carried. We have responsibility to try to do what we can to make the best out of what we have promised, not only to each other, but to Dr. Bell, Chair of the Wayne County Commission, because she followed our thoughts up in a press release. She made a public announcement also in June saying Wayne County Women's Commission has made COVID-19 their first issue. We have to deliver, guys. We have to deliver. So the Wayne County Women's Commission's COVID-19 recovery. We need a recovery in each of these subject matters, which we've all discussed, and it's been in writing in some of our minutes. And that's number 1, economics and housing, education and childcare, mental health and physical health. We have work to do, and I have confidence in this commission that we have to make it happen. The last thing here is that I'm going to send out a Wayne County Women's Commission COVID-19 recovery response, asking each of you to select at least 2 committees you'd like to serve on, your first choice and your second choice. I'm going to send this out today, and if you can get that back to me, and you can CC Vice Chair Roberts, if you can get that to us by, I believe it's the 18th of November, then we can at least we could have a list of people who are willing to take on these items. These are huge items, and they're major items. You're gonna need some time to carry it with you, carry it inside of you, talk to your family, your friends, talk to the people in your district, and decide, okay, here's where I can be effective. You know, and we all won't have all the answers, but at least we'll have a focus and we can make a difference. Because I just have confidence. And I know when we get together, when, you know, and we look at our families and we look at our friends and we see the issues, we know the issues, we don't like what we see sometimes. And so now we're positioned to do something about that. And having said all this, I want to say thank you again to all of you. And if you have any questions or further discussion about this presentation, please go ahead. Or any comments?
We have a hand from Member Lanto.
Go ahead, Member Lanto.
Thank you. If I may ask for some clarification, because I was under the impression that the decision to address the impacts of COVID had been approved, but we had not approved any subcommittees because we had not prioritized the issues coming out of COVID at this point in time. So I guess I'm wondering if we're skipping some steps to, and we're not getting the full input of the commission before we move forward into forming committees and choosing issue areas.
Are there any more comments?
We have a hand from Member Dobb.
Go ahead, Member Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had the same concerns as Member Lanto, and I was wondering if our council is still on the call, if she can weigh in with what our bylaws say about forming committees. I can't recall.
Through the chair to the body, this is Felicia Johnson, counsel to the commission. So the bylaws provide that the body itself actually forms committees. And
okay,
that,
so, oh, I'm sorry, continue.
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna ask, so committees have to be approved by the entire commission? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Member Roberts. You're blanked out.
Sorry, I went on mute. I'm sorry, I went on mute.
No problem.
My apologies. Yeah, my question was just around process. When we created the last 2 committees, you and I worked together, and I don't need to be a part of this process, but it's just what we did is we made the appointments, we created them, made recommendations on appointments, and then we brought that forward to the full commission, which then voted on the creation of the committees. So my question is really just around process. And also during several meetings, we had discussed utilizing that strategic planning process to look at COVID and to break down those issues. Now, if the will of this body is to not go through that process as we had previously discussed and go with this process, you know, I'm totally fine with that. I just wanted to mention that we had talked about this in previous meetings in terms of how we wanted to form these committees and the type of work that we would do around the recovery of women in Wayne County impacted by COVID-19.
Are there any more comments? I must say that this is not the same as strategic planning. And while we are in the process, while we are embracing our selected areas, and while you are solidifying a process based on strategic planning, when there could be more process that may fold into this naturally. In the meantime, we need to work. We need to be busy. We made all these commitments. We've already had the motion to address the issues. We've already talked about what the issues are. They've been brought forth by various members. And I think we need to embrace that and move forward and allow the strategic planning to do what it needs to do to make us whole and give us the foundation that we need. It can only enhance what we're doing here.
We have a hand from Vice Chair Roberts.
Go ahead.
Just want clarification then on process. I'm not sure if members can volunteer for committees that have not been, I guess, approved by the full commission. Is that correct, Felicia?
Through the chair, the bylaws indicate that the Women's Commission itself creates committees for various purposes. So in order to have a proper committee, it would have to be voted on by the membership as a whole. Members of those committees can be assigned through the chairperson, by the chairperson, or individuals may volunteer for it, but you first have to actually establish the committee itself, which is by vote of the body.
We have a hand from Member Talley.
Go ahead, Member Talley.
Yeah, thank you. And I get your point, Chairperson. My only concern is that, and you said it too, foundation. And I do see the need for committees. I'm just a little concerned that I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So with the strategic planning piece, will that kind of form out what kind of committees we need with that strategic planning process? I just want to make sure we're not, because if we don't have a strong foundation, anything we do going forward can kind of go disarray. So we want to make sure that foundation piece is big. And I'm with you. I don't like holding up anything, and we need to keep things moving. But I don't want to keep things moving without a foundation, and then we move forward and things kind of fall apart. So does the strategic planning piece, will that dictate the committees we'll need going forward? I just want to be clear.
And we do have a hand from Vice Chair Roberts.
Just to respond to that, I mean, that was the intent, that we would work through that process so that we could, do the best work possible around COVID-19. I mean, the other piece to that is, working to bring experts to the full commission to discuss, COVID-19 in Wayne County. And we started doing that with hearing from, high-level public health officials at the Wayne County Commission, at the Wayne County government, and through the city of Detroit. There was a group of us, we did try to get another speaker from the county, or several speakers, to talk about the financial impacts. And so just going back, I mean, that was, part of the original discussion and the original intent. But again, whatever is the will of this body is the will of this body. I just want to make sure that the process is appropriate.
And when you say process, Vice Chair, and I'm just asking for real, because we've had a few things that worked well with the committees that we already have. So I just want to ask, do we just wait as a body? We just wait until we have solidified a total process, fully approved, and we all just stand by? Because I don't think we have, I don't think we have the time just to sit idly by. I think that, again, this body is quite capable of gathering information. We all have outreach. We can certainly wait if that's what this body want, but this body has already approved that we're going to have a COVID-19 committee. We've already said it publicly. If we want to withdraw that and risk losing the opportunity perhaps to do a lot of things, because this time will pass. We don't know if it'll pass in 6 months or the next year. We just don't have enough time. Most of the work is done in committees. And it's not really done here in these meetings. We pass motions and we have discussion, and that's all part of the process, and that is great. But I'm just wanting to know if we're all willing to just wait. If we think that truly we cannot operate until we have the strategic planner to be selected, to be approved, to get through these 18 or 19 people on our committee. So we're talking, you know, several months from now. What do you want us to do? What do you propose we do in the meantime?
Well, just in response to several things that you've said. The first is we've not voted to approve a COVID committee. We voted to approve that our first issue would be to work on the impacts and recovery for women in Wayne County impacted by COVID-19. If this body collectively decides that they want to do this through the strategic planning process, I do not believe we are sitting idly by. People are doing work. And my question of process is you are recommending these committees that you have created and asking people to volunteer, and they've not been approved by the full commission. Now, if the members want to move forward on this, you know, then we should do that. But it's a question of process and following our bylaws.
I want to correct you on a couple of things. First of all, I did not create these committees as I outlined. These committees came from members. I did not create not one of them. This came from feedback from the various committees that we've had, and even the meetings that you and I've had, Vice Chair, and we've discussed these same items, the same list. There's nothing different about this list than we've been carrying for the last 8 months. And I will also say that not your committee sitting idly by. I'm talking about the rest of us on you guys to complete the work. And it's not a fast work either. It's going to take time. And I said that from the very beginning. It's time consuming to create a strategic plan. It really truthfully is. I understand I've been a part of a few. So I do understand that process. So I just want to stand corrected on that. I did not even vote for, I did not initiate the COVID-19 piece at all. I embraced it on someone else's recommendation. And I would say several members were recommended COVID-19 and various components, not I. So let me make that clear.
We do have
Madam Chair,
yes.
This is Felicia. May I offer a few comments that hopefully can clarify some pieces? So I'm going to ask the clerk if a vote was ever taken with regards to the COVID-19 committee. If not, if not, then I would say if it's the desire of this body to create a committee right now to pursue COVID-19, you can take that vote now to create that committee. You can then appoint members at some later point and advise them, because you can appoint members as the chairperson. Creating the committee now doesn't mean that committee cannot change with regards to a strategic plan. So you move forward and work potentially in a committee now for some issues to address the immediate impact and things that are happening in the community now. You can. Can that change once you all decide on a strategic plan later? You can. A committee, just because a committee is created, doesn't mean that committee has to remain for the entirety of this session of the Women's Commission. You have flexibility. So there is some flexibility in how you all want to proceed. It's just a matter of determining exactly what you want to do right now to proceed. Thank you, Madam.
Can we just, we have those listed. Can we vote on them now? And then if we do vote on them and decide to accept those committees, all of us can think about which one we want to be on, gather information, and we can move forward.
And through the chair, just for clarification to respond to Commission Counsel Johnson, the motion that was made and approved by this body was to make COVID-19 its priority issue. There were discussions about, categories within that issue that people were interested in. However, based on the record that I've been keeping, there has been no official vote to create a committee to focus on those issues. The only committees that have been voted on and approved by this body are the two that we currently have, the Strategic Planning Committee, as well as the Core Values Committee. Hopefully that adds some clarification. The vote was to make COVID the main focus of this body, but there were no votes after that to create committees. And as Commission Council said, we can make a vote to create those committees. However, they have not been created as of yet.
So thank you for that clarification, Clerk. I'll also note, Madam Chair, that you can decide to either address those COVID issues as a group as a whole, or you can do so as a committee. So it's not that you have to have a committee to address issues. It's just a matter of how this body wants to proceed in addressing those matters. But to the other member, yes, you can take a vote now to create that committee if that is the desire of the body.
And also, I want to point out there is one more committee, and that was the Bylaws Committee that was formed to make suggestions and changes to the bylaws, which those recommendations were made and those were voted on as well. But that is also one of the committees that we voted on. And we do have a hand from Member Randall.
Thank you. I just want to remind everybody that we just approved the mission, vision, and core values. If you look at the committees, it looks like Madam Chair used the mission statement to form those committees. So that's all I wanted to say.
Is there any more discussion or comment? Is there a motion to create the committees as listed?
I move that we approve the committees as listed. We understand that this will not stop or slow down the work of the Strategic Planning Committee, and that we would just like to get started and do some actual work to improve the lives of the women of Wayne County and Michigan. Thank you.
Support from Member Gator.
It's been moved and supported. Chair Carter, would you like a roll call vote or would you like to call a voice vote?
Let's do a roll call, please.
Okay.
All those
And
in
for-
favor?
Okay.
All those in favor of the committees as listed, as previously discussed? Please say, well, let's go ahead with the roll count.
Okay.
Madam Chair, can you show us the committees on the screen, please?
Sure.
All right, the motion is to approve the committees as listed. We'll do a roll call vote. Member Talley?
Yes.
Member Starr? Is Member Starr still on?
Sorry, I said yes.
Okay. Member Shield?
Aye.
Member Randall?
Aye.
Member Luckman?
Aye.
Member Lanto?
Yes.
Member Joyner?
Yes.
Member Gator?
Yes.
Member Barnhill? Is she still with us? I do not see her. Okay. And then Member Douglas indicated that she needed to leave. Member Dobb?
Yes.
Member Crawford?
Yes.
Vice Chair Roberts?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes.
Chair Carter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Thank you for that vote, and that motion passes. Thank you to everyone that supported. I think it's going to mean a lot to us, and it's going to put us to work. So I do really truly appreciate that we can get started. Again, if you can complete that form, I do have the bios of everyone, and I've broken it down categories based but I'm not beholden you to any committee or another. Just express your first choice, your second choice, and I'll do my best to make sure that everyone ends up in a place that they feel like they can perform in. And that's what it's all about. How we're going to help the women of Wayne County. They are crying. And I am just filled right now because I see it and I hear it constantly. And now we can, as a Women's Commission, get forward, move forward, and try to make a difference. It's going to take some creativity.
We do have a hand from Member Talley.
And I hope that we all will be open-minded. Go ahead.
Yep, thank you through
Go
the
ahead,
chair.
Member Talley.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm clear, and I agree with your thought process with that. But I just want to be clear: are we on some type of time frame or something? I'm in agreement with what you said, but I also think, and I think you even said it, that I don't want to be rushing because unless there's something I'm not aware of that we should know about. If that's the only thing is there a time frame we're working in? If there's something that's coming down from somewhere that we have to move in a certain time frame, I just want to make sure I'm clear.
There was announced earlier this week that $350 million have been set aside for education and childcare and need to be in the conversation. So I want the committees to meet and be as creative as possible. Because again, our state, local, and county levels have done a great job in getting the word out, but we still have a lot of loopholes and a lot of gaps that we can do something about. And so we're going to have to do some homework. We got to make sure we're not trading ground already covered. That's going to take some groundwork. And so that's what I want to do the groundwork first. Let's get our facts. Let's line them up as a committee, and then submit it to this body, and let's go to work. And I am here. I've called all of the members, and Vice Chair Roberts, I want to say, is very good at keeping in touch with everybody. But I'm also here too. I don't bite, and all I want to do is to succeed. At the end of the day, this is the work of the committee. It's the work, and it's my job to support you. It's my job to support you and to make you shine and to make you the person out front that's getting work done. My work is done basically in front of the computer here at these meetings. So I want to say I just want us to represent what our commissioners intended us to represent. And I would suggest too, let's go to our commissioners. Great place to start, and go. Don't leave nothing unturned to get your information. If you need some help from me or any other member, make it known, and let's help each other and work together. And once we've done that, I'm not going to be surprised at what we can achieve, because I just know the breadth of some of you women, and I know that you're in it to win it. If there are no more comments, we can move to. Are there any other matters that can be properly submitted before the commission? Now's the time. Anyone? Okay. All right. Thank you. So now we want to ask for public comments for those who may be on a telephone or those that are here. Please take this opportunity to ask any question or make a comment. We would love to hear your feedback. It's been a long day, but we do need your feedback, because I don't know much. I'm just a researcher, an outsourcer. So if you have something to say, positively, negative, anything that you think that may help us be a better body, or anything that you feel on your heart that needs to be said, now's the time to say it. So once again, now's the time for public comments. And Summer, you have your hand raised. Member Crawford?
I do. Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Yes. In honor of Veterans Day, I would like to honor and recognize any veterans that are on the call today and say thank you for your service. I am a military brat. My mother is retired Air Force after 20 years of service. And so I do want to recognize any military veterans that are on the call today. Again, thank you so much for your service, for all branches of service.
Good too. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And Chair Carter, I did not receive any emails.
All right, thank you. All right, so we can now get a motion to adjourn the meeting from someone.
So moved. Commissioner Shield.
Support, Member Gator.
All right, thank you. Everyone have a great month until we see each other at the holiday event.
All
I
right.
hope to see you all.
Thank you.
Have a
Okay.
happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.